Hello, good morning and Jai Hind bachcho. Today we are going to solve one GST question also, and in this particular question you can see that the transactions are not done from a single state. It is done from Delhi, it is done from Uttar Pradesh, it is done from Mumbai. Mean to say what? I told you in the last class, when the transaction done from the same state, then CGST and SGST will charge. But when the transactions are done within two states or more than two states, then transaction will be considered as IGST, Integrated Goods Service Tax. So this is the question of combination of both CGST, SGST and IGST. Here GST rate is given 18%. Mean to what? When we are going to charge the IGST, it will be very simple, 18%. But when we are going to charge the CGST and SGST, 18% will be equally divided. 9% will be CGST and 9% will be SGST. So when we are going to pass the transaction, we have to be very careful that we are passing the transaction within a state or within two states. Okay. So without any delay, let's start. And if you have any problem, please tell in the comment box. February 1. Bought goods from Mrs. Rama and Company, Delhi. Person is also from Delhi. Person is also from Delhi. And the person purchased the goods from Delhi. So it will be CGST and SGST. And simple, it will be purchase account debit. It will be how much? 50,000. Input CGST account debit. Input SGST account debit. I already told you in the last class that on the time of purchase we will record input. So input CGST, input SGST. 2. It is a credit transaction from whom? From Rama and Company. So 50,000, 18% will be how much? 18 5 90, 9,000. So 9,000 will be equally divided in CGST and SGST, 4,500 CGST, 4,500 SGST, and total to Rama will be 59,000. Now, Fab 3. Purchase goods from Mrs. Amar Cells, Mumbai. Bacha, you are purchasing the goods from Mumbai and you are in Delhi. So it will be purchase account debit 70,000. Instead of CGST and SGST, we will charge input IGST account debit. How much? So 17,000, 18%. It will be how much, bacha? It will come 12,600. Okay. So 12,600 is the input IGST, and it is also a credit transaction to Messrs. Amar Cells account. How much? 82,600. Now proceed for the Fab 5 transaction. Sold goods against check which was deposited in bank. Bacha, you are selling the goods against the check which is deposited in bank. Now in February 5, you can see that it is from the same state, it is from the other state. This information is missing one. So when the information is missing one, that the transaction is from the same state or other state, always we consider that it is from the same state. So here we go on. Sold goods against check which was deposited in bank. Very simple. It is actually the money is coming. So bank account debit. 2. We sold the goods to sales account. How much? 40,000. Now guys, if you remember that I already told you that on the time of purchase we use the input word, but on the time of sales we collected the GST, which is our liability to pay to the government. That's why it will be credit, and the word what we will use is output. So to output CGST account, to output SGST account, and the 40,000 18% will be coming 3,600 each. So total cash what we receive is 47,200. 47,200. Now guys, we will proceed for the next transaction after Fab 5. It will be Fab 7. Bought furniture for office Mrs. Lakshmi Furniture, Faridabad. Faridabad is in where? It is in outside of Delhi. Outside of Delhi. I think Faridabad is in Haryana. I think so. So Fab 7, outside of Delhi, we have a transaction Fab 7, and it will be what, bacha? It will be bought furniture. So furniture account debit worth rupees 30,000. I told you it is outside of Delhi, so it will be IGST account. So input IGST account debit. So input IGST account debit 30,000, 18% will be 5,400. Okay guys, now it is what? It is also a credit transaction. How we can say, because Mrs. Lakshmi Furniture name is given but the cash word is not given. So to Mrs. Lakshmi Furniture, how much bacha? It will be 35,400. Now Fab 9. Fab 9 is what? Purchase goods from Mrs. Mehra and Sons, Delhi. It is in Delhi, so we will use the word CGST and SGST, and we will use as purchase account debit. How much? 45,000. Purchase account debit. How much? 45,000. Okay. Now, bacha, it is from Delhi, so we will use the word input CGST account debit. 45,000, 18%. How much it will come? It will come. How much? 8,100. Find out. 45,000, 18%. 8,100. So this 8,100 will be equally divided as 4050 and to input SGST account debit 4050. And again, this is a transaction on credit. This person is doing a lot of credit transaction. So to Mrs. Mehra. Mrs. Mehra is credit. Why so? Because the rule is saying debit the receiver, credit the giver. Okay. So 45 plus 8,100. It will be how much bacha? 53,100. And the last transaction before one break, Fab 10, paid transportation charge. So you are paying transportation charge bacha. How much? How much transportation charge? 2,000 rupees. Okay. So you can write down transportation expenses account debit 2. Nothing is given, so we assume 2 cash account 2,000 and 2,000. Okay. One question will come. I told them that after Feb 10 we will take a break. So we will take the break for two reasons. One is very important concept, and one is for your revision, that whatever we covered, if you have any problem you can ask. So the funda behind whatever the transaction we pass till Feb 10 is very simple. And what is that? If we purchase or sell the transaction within a state, like suppose I'm from Delhi and I'm purchasing and selling the transaction in Delhi, then it will be CGST and SGST. But at the same time, it should be clear also that if the transaction, whether it is purchased, whether it is sales outside of the state, it means in other state, then IGST will charge. Concept number 1. Concept number 2. Whenever we purchase any goods, whether it is outside the state, whether it is within the state, input word will be used. Like input CGST, input SGST, input IGST, but bacha. Whenever we sold the goods outside of a state, then it will be output CGST, output SGST, output IGST. Okay. Now the second concept what I have to discuss with you is very simple. In the last class, we come to know that salary is exempted from the GST. It means when we are paying the salary to the employees, we not need to pay GST on that. So GST will be not recorded with salary. At the same time, certain more measurements are there. You always please remember that whenever we are paying transportation charge, when we are paying electricity charge, when we are supplying the goods to government, then there is no need to pay the GST. Okay, so please remember that. In other questions, when you solve, you will see. Okay, so the thing is what things are exempted? What things are exempted from GST? If you want to write down, you can write down. When we are paying wages, when we are paying salaries, when we are paying electricity charges, when we are paying water charges, any freight, any carriage, any transportation, okay, installation of machinery, wages paid, packing charge, okay, charity donation paid in cash, postage stamps, and the government supply. If you want, I can send the picture of all the GST exempted in your particular group. Okay, so if you want to write down, you can write down. If you want a copy of that, so I will send the copy. I will send the copy in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So here guys, transportation charge is there. That's why we not paid the GST on that. Now, let's start for the second part. It is that Feb 12. If you have any doubt, you can ask. I will try to clear it. And if you have this concept clear, that when we have to write down input, when we have to write down output, when it should be CGST, when it should be IGST, then it's okay. Very good. Now proceed for the Feb 12. Proceed for the Feb 12. So guys, here is the Feb 12 transaction. Feb 12 is saying that sold goods to Supercells Kanpur. Ab Kanpur is very famous. Few days ago, Vikas Dubey Kanpur wale. So here the sold goods to Supercells Kanpur, and it is how much, bacha? It is a type of credit transaction because the name is there but cash word is not there. And it is in Kanpur, so the CGST and SGST will be not charged. What thing will charge? IGST. Okay, IGST will charge. So See this, sold good to Supercells Kanpur. So bacha, who is receiving the goods? Supercells. Super chat received. Supercells account debit. We sold the goods to sales account, and after that to output, not CGST SGST, because it is not in Delhi, it is outside of Delhi in UP. So to output IGST account. So how much for Fab 12? It will be 60,000 rupees for sales account. 18% of 60,000 will be how much? 10,000. 800 rupees. Now total will be how much, bacha? 70,800. Now I told you already, paid salary to staff by check. Whenever we are paying the payment by check, bacha, then always remember GST will be not charged. To paid salary to staff by check, salary is expense, so salary account debit to by check, so to bank account. How much? It will be 25,000 and 25,000. No GST will be charged. Now, Fab 18, return goods to Mrs. Amar Cells Mumbai. Bacha, this return case you understand, because after that we are going to start the chapter. After that we are going to start the chapter BRS. Okay, so BRS is also a very important chapter. Before that I will see that what is there in the syllabus. And GST, this particular question you solve, this is the base of all the concept which is there in the GST. So I will send this question to you, a part of the video. You can see this video later on. It will be remain open for you guys, so you can see this video one more time to clear your doubts. You do the practice on the question, this type of question from your exercise. And now understand the return concept. So what is the return concept? Dekho bacha, whenever we purchase the goods, we charge the GST. Okay, how? So here, whenever we purchase the goods, we charge the GST. And on that time, input CGST is debit. Input SGST is debit. Getting my point? So whenever we are making the whenever we are purchasing the goods, on that time input GST will be charged in the debit side. But when we are returning the goods, purchase return, we have to decrease the GST paid also. And how we can decrease? By simple opposite entry. So mean to say that on the time of purchase, if input CGST is debit, so on the time of purchase return, input CGST will be opposite credit. Opposite credit. Similarly, on the time of sales, the GST is credit. Output GST is credit. So on the time of sales return, this will be opposite debit. Okay. So guys, without any delay, let's solve this particular question. So it is return goods to Mrs. Amar Cells Mumbai 10,000. Who is returning? We are. Who is receiving? Amar. So Fab 18. Amar Cells Mumbai account debit 10,000. Amar Cells Mumbai account debit 10,000. Abacha, it is a purchase return, because we how we can identify it as a purchase return or sales return? Very simple. When we are returning, it is purchase. When someone returning to us, it is sales return. Okay. So to purchase return account. How much, bacha? So 10,000 is the purchase return amount. Okay, this is the return amount. At the same time, Amar sells Mumbai. Amar sells Mumbai account debit, and we have to decrease our GST also. To input IGST account. How much, bacha? So 10,000, 18% will be 1800 and 1800. Okay. Acha. If you want, then you can pass the combined entry for the same, and what combined entry will be there? See this. Amar sells account debit, to purchase return, to input IGST. So Amar sells account debit, how much? 11,800. We are returning the goods worth rupees 10,000, but along with that we are decreasing the IGST also worth rupees 1,800. So Aman sells account debit 11,800, to purchase return 10,000, and to input IGST 1,800. Okay, now proceed for the Fab 20 transaction. So Fab 20. Acha, Fab 20 is lawyer fees paid to Gupta Association Haryana. हरियाणा में जी ताउस है lawyer fees pay करे से. So lawyer fees is expenses. So for the lawyer fees, what we will use is legal fees account debit. How much? 10,000. Okay, how much? 10,000. And after that, it is in Haryana, so it will be input IGST account debit. 10,000, 18% will be 1,800, and to bank account 11,800. Now Fab 22. A Fab 22, you see, bacha. Fab 22. So very simple. Goods worth rupees 5,000 given as a charity. So charity account debit. How much, bacha? 5,000. Achha ji. Then goods worth rupees 15,000 were distributed as a free sample. So advertisement account debit 15,000 to purchase account. Bacha, you are knowing that whenever we are decreasing our purchase, means whenever the goods are going out without purchase, it will be charity account debit 5,000, advertisement account debit 15,000 to purchase account. How much, bacha? 20,000. Acha, one more effect is there. You please see this, very important. We are knowing that whenever a purchase decrease, whatever the GST we paid on that will also decrease. ठीक है जी. This is, we are returning the goods, so we decrease the GST also. Here goods is going out also. Here goods is also decreased, so we decrease the GST also. So what GST we will pass one more transaction in that. Charity account debit. How much GST will be charged on charity? 5,000, 18%, 900. On advertisement, how much, bacha? So 15,000, 18% will be 2700, and to input IGST account, it will be how much? 3600. So bacha, we pass the black one entry, we pass the second entry. For what? We are knowing that whatever goods we are using in charity, in donation, in free sampling, on that GST is not charged. So bacha, already whatever goods we are distributing, on that we had already charged GST. So now we are closing the charging effect. How so? By passing the opposite entry, because we are returning the goods of Amar Cells. Achha, when we done the transaction from Amar Cells, you find out on Fab 3. So you see this. Just a minute. So bacha, on Fab 3, when you purchase the transaction from Amar Cells, you charge the GST. Input IGST account debit, you had paid that. But now your input is adjusted. Why so? Because whenever we return the goods, our GST decrease. And similarly, whenever we donate the goods, on that also the GST will not charge, so my GST will decrease. Input IGST 3600. Now the last one, second last, February 24. Fab 24. Sold goods to Muna Store, Delhi. More simple, sorry. Fab 24. So it is what? Sold goods to Muna Store, bacha. Muna Store. Muna, where is Sona? Muna Store accounts debit. How much by? Chodo sir ji. To sales account. We sold the goods 80,000. And now it is in Delhi, so to output CGST account, to output SGST account. So 18,000, 18%, 18% will be 14,400. It will be equally distributed as 7,200, 7,200, and total will be 94,400. Getting my point? And the last one, Fab 27. Paid electricity charges. I told you guys that whenever water charges are there, it can be transportation charges. When it is electricity charges, government supply, salary paid, on that all the GST will be not chargeable. So it is a very normal transaction. Paid electricity charges, so it will be electricity account debit to cash account. How much? 5,000 and 5,000. Okay guys, so I will send you one question also. On the basis of that, you try to solve that question, and here your GST concepts are over. So what we have to focus in GST mainly, that when we have to charge the GST input, when we have to charge the GST output. On the time of purchase, the GST will be input debit. On the time of sales, GST will be credit. But in purchase return and sales return, it will be vice versa. It means that like on the time of purchase, input GST will be debit. So on the time of purchase return, it will be credit. Input GST will be credit. On the time of sales, output GST is credit. So on the time of sales return, it will be debit. And at the same time, you have to remember that on which content we are not have to charge the GST. It means which contents are GST exempted. Okay. So this was for today. In the next class, we will start the next topic. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Keep studying. Okay. Thank you.